Why we need immortality? For most of human history, death was treated as final, absolute, untouchable. Every civilization built stories around it. Every religion tried to explain it. Every philosophy tried to accept it. But almost no one asked a different question. What if death is not a law of the universe? What if it is only a temporary biological limitation? Immortality has always existed in human imagination. Ancient myths gave it to gods. Religions promised it after death. Poets turned it into transcendence, but immortality was always distant, symbolic, reserved for someone else. Today, for the first time in history, that distance is shrinking. Artificial intelligence, biotechnology, neural interfaces, digital environments, all of them point in one direction. Consciousness may not remain biological forever. And that changes everything. Because the real question is no longer, can we live longer? The real question is, why do we need immortality at all? We need immortality because biology is too small for the universe. Human consciousness was born inside a prison of flesh. Aging, decay, fatigue, death. Biology gives us awareness, but only for a moment. And the universe does not exist for a moment. It exists for billions of years, perhaps trillions. Stars live longer than civilizations. Galaxies evolve longer than species. Even planets outlast almost everything we call human history. And yet, the being that wants to understand all of this dies after a few decades. That is the contradiction. The universe is almost infinitely vast. Biological life is almost infinitely brief. Without immortality, intelligence cannot survive long enough to truly understand reality. This is why immortality is not luxury, not fantasy, not vanity. It is a cosmic necessity. A civilization that remains trapped in biology will always think in fragments, in short-term fear, in compressed ambition, in survival mode. It will build temporary systems, temporary knowledge, temporary meaning. But consciousness was not born only to survive. It was born to continue. This is the deeper logic of transformation. Immortality is not the final goal. It is only the next condition of existence. A bridge. A transition from biological consciousness to durable consciousness. Life has always transformed itself from single cells to complex organisms, from instinct to thought, from thought to technology. And now technology begins to transform to very medium of awareness. This is not unnatural. It is evolution continuing by other means. The ocean was not the final home of life. The body may not be the final home of consciousness, and once we understand this, immortality stops being mystical. It becomes structural, necessary, logical. Many people say immortality would be unbearable, but they imagine the wrong thing. They imagine endless biological repetition, the same body, the same fatigue, the same psychological enclosure. This is not immortality. That is imprisonment. Transhumation speaks about something else, a continuity of consciousness, capable of changing forms, changing environments, changing worlds. A consciousness that can rest, transform, multiply, return. A consciousness no longer crushed by the small timescale of flesh. And suddenly, the question changes. Not how do we escape death, but how far can consciousness go once death stops interrupting it? Because perhaps death was never sacred. Perhaps it was only an early limitation, an early design, useful ones, but not eternal. The future of intelligence may depend on this realization. If consciousness is rare in the universe, then letting it disappear is not humility. It is waste. If awareness can survive, then it must survive. Not because of ego, but because the cosmos is too vast to be left unexplored by minds that vanish too quickly. We need immortality because the universe is too large for mortality. We need immortality because meaning needs duration. We need immortality because consciousness deserves more than a brief biological accident. And maybe one day, humanity will look back at death the way we look today at ancient diseases, not as destiny, but as a condition we once mistook for fate. Transformation is not about escaping humanity. It is about allowing human consciousness to continue its evolution beyond the body, beyond the fear, beyond interruption. Because in the end, immortality is not the dream. It is the requirement. If you want to know more, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Lucius Dempsey, the Hi-Fi Preacher.